All right, I think we're finally going on here. First podcast, videocast, whatever. And before we get started, I should probably give our first promise. I didn't tell you what this was going to be. All right, so no crap. The main thing is no freaking man buns, no sensitive beards, no irritating hipsters, and I'm sorry you feel that way, passive-aggressive crap, because this is sports. That's my personal opinion. No offense to any of my friends that happen to be hipsters, and I do have friends that are hipsters. You're the cool kind of hipsters, but you know the kind I'm talking about. These sort of annoying, you know the ones I'm talking about. I'm sure we'll get some hate mail for that one. So, all right, so Cory Carlick here. You might not know me as well as Emily. Emily is the host of Go Nitro. I'm the occasional host, and I am the producer. So I'm basically the one responsible for subjecting you to all this garbage. We have a very exciting few announcements going on here. We're going to plan on doing these sorts of things every Thursday. So right now it's a little bit on the bare bones side of things, but we will improve as we do more and more of this live casting sort of thing. So one of the really exciting things I want to mention is that I can hear Emily typing. All I can hear is typing, typey. All I can hear is thumping in my head. Em's writing a novel. Em's writing a novel. Oh, well, if you're in the middle of something, it's okay. All right, awkward pause. It's all good. So the main thing is we have a couple of new U.S. stations that we should be announcing pretty soon, including in NASCAR territory. We are finally also going to be running nationally in Canada, in addition to all of our broadcasts for Go Nitro in syndication on Fox, Fox Sports, ABC, CW, CBS, and now NBC, depending on where you are watching in the United States. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is we are going to be... See, this is what happens when you're doing live broadcasts. We've got Emily in the closet, and now she's back. The whole world saw that. What's going on in the closet?
Alrighty. Well, hopefully I'm not interrupting you here. My little Chromebook here lost audio for a bit, so I can't hear you very well, so I'm kind of flying blind here, but
oh, okay.
Now I seem to be able to hear you again.
First podcast jitters. I don't know why I keep calling it a podcast. I'm giving up my millennial.
Sort of like a podcast. Okay, I seem to be able to hear you now.
Yeah.
It might just be that that this little device is having some trouble. I opened the door. That seemed to help. I'm not sure what the technology would be behind why the open door would help. Maybe the Chromebook just feels a little less confined in the office that way.
When in
feels
doubt,
like it.
Ask Google. Yeah. Well.
It could just hop off of the table and run through the door. It's nervous. It likes to see that door is open and that it has an escape route in case it doesn't like what I have to hear.
Yeah.
So it's
makes sense.
True to the decade. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I'll say so. There you go, kids. Just because we have a show running on national television in the United States does not mean that when we go to the wonderful world of YouTube that there aren't necessarily going to be any kinds of embarrassments, unprofessionalisms, and abject screw-ups. So I don't think... so I guess some of you that are watching might know of the show, some of you may not. So those of you that know, and those of you that don't, so Go Nitro is a TV show that runs basically, we go to all these different major sports teams and athletic organizations all across North America and hopefully Europe soon once once COVID ends and our budget increases a little bit, which is more than I can say for this this live cast. And the other thing as well is, the good thing about it is, you know, the idea is that every athlete has a first day. So right now we have in excess of 20 some odd million viewers. But the thing about television is, even though we're in syndication, we don't really get to talk to any of you, and that might be watching the show. And this is the way that we hopefully will be able to talk to you. Not quite as polished, not quite as perfect, as you can see by Emily having fun in the closet, you know, and various audio things like that. And we are not in a crazy set. We are just in the home office here due to COVID, and we're just going to be yammering about nothing. So, you know, as we do more of these, it'll probably get a little bit better. So the one thing I did want to announce is that we are finally, after a year of airing in the United States and having more and more stations, we are actually going to be airing nationally in Canada. So we are actually going to be running on the Game Plus network. So our first, our Canadian season premiere on the Game Plus network is going to be on March 29th at 6:30 p.m. So we are going to be running on 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Game Plus network every Monday. So any of you that are in Saskatchewan will probably start seeing some billboards soon, maybe in and around Yorkton and Regina. And so yeah, and as far as where you can watch it, there's a whole list. Go to gonitro.tv and you can see the list of stations. I do want to give a shout out to WBBJ in Tennessee, in Jackson, Tennessee. That's our home station in the United States, ABC and CBS. So I need to give a shout out to Jeff Pruitt and you know, and Tommy Culbertson and everybody at WBBJ. We have an exciting, quite a large slate of stations. You'd think I would have it memorized by now, but just to give you an idea of some of the stations that we have. Watch this thing blow up and not work properly. I'm just going to wind up going in here for a second. Yeah. You know, your website.
Yeah, so I lost you again for a little bit there, but I turned on subtitles so that I could kind of see what you were saying.
Oh, that's cool. It's giving you live subtitles on YouTube. So if I start speaking gibberish, what does that do? So if I start speaking gibberish,
you know, I think it likes the gibberish better. Like as soon as you start the gibberish, it actually turns up the audio. So I'm not sure how much of a throwback Thursday this really is. Little known fact, I actually have a college diploma from St. Lawrence for computer technical support. It was a computer science course that covered networking and technical support.
I don't think it's going to help us through this crap.
Well, no, that's
you get your money's
just
worth through this stupid internet. All this $500,000 worth of internet crap and television stuff, and we still can't get the thing to work, and I'm lumbering toward the camera like an idiot, turning on the task cam so we can get some audio in the stupid podcast. Sorry.
Well, on the bright side, we didn't start it out with the "Hey guys, what's up?"
Oh yeah, I really didn't want to do that. Every time I hear somebody go, "Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my YouTube channel," well, Well, assault is a crime, so unfortunately we can't bludgeon anybody with blunt metal objects or smash them upside the head with a piece of heavy mining equipment, but I don't know what it is with the "hey, what's up" guys. And it's always some idiot that has a backwards snapback cap with a team that doesn't
Yeah.
exist anymore.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Or
Yeah.
or you know, somebody that has their webcam set way, way, way too high or too low, so it looks like they're looking down on the camera. They're looking way up in the camera, and they're
Or we get to look up their nose. Or we get to look up their nose.
yeah.
That's always something that I want to see. Yeah, it's like if you're going to get a
That's because
sponsor, get sponsored by Philips, for God's sakes. Take your nose and just trim it. I don't need to see that crap.
they're about to
Yeah.
they're about to go on and give some detailed tutorial on something that is so unbelievably specific, like how to do your makeup to make yourself look like a Canada Goose, or how to, you know, change the oil in a, you know, Motormaster 654321 series 1997 built lawnmower. And you know, if you get the one that's one number different, then it's a completely different repair. So, and then they'll have either 2 million views or 2 views.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with that. Here we go. The first podcast, or whatever you want to call it, we're sitting here complaining all the time. So, you know.
Well, I just want to say thank you if there's anybody watching this right now for
If
their
there's
patience.
anybody watching this right now, and if there were, I'm just going to check the metrics. It's the first podcast, so I'm willing to guess that we probably have nobody. And thank God for that. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Do we have any going on here? Do we have any? Is anybody watching? I don't know. We have one person watching. One person. We have one person watching, folks. So all one of you that are watching, you get to see the train wreck that is this. But that's fine. It's the first one. It allows us to get
Learning.
Yeah, it's a learning.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah, it's a learning curve.
Next,
Yeah.
I'll try the iPod or something, because I think it was just taxing on the system. But I mean, I'm seeing the text, the captions are working quite well, and I'm periodically hearing your audio. It's just if it goes off for a while. So are you going to be, if you're going to be saving this to YouTube,
It saves automatically. It saves automatically every time we do it. So.
Okay, because we could start it, and we could basically say that it's starting now.
It's starting now.
I was going to speak a little bit about what it was like to get started in women's hockey in Canada, specifically in Ontario in the 90s.
That'd be pretty brutal. Brutal in the sense
So-
that, you know, it's kind of trailblazing and everything that goes along with it.
Yeah, and you know, you look at it now, and it was a funny thing, because for me it was in Toronto,
Mhm.
and Toronto was sort of the epicenter of everything. You could decide that, you know, you wanted to join a league for a sport that originated in you know, a small nation on the continent of Africa, and there would probably be a league in Toronto because it was so heavily populated. There was a lot of opportunity. If you had that level of expertise and you wanted to join that league and you knew exactly what you were looking for, that you could find it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, a lot of these things required being an expert. You know, I know you do Dragon Boat, and
It can be
you've
a little clicky. I think that's true with a lot of
and you've
organizations.
done Dragon Boat in Ottawa, and that's
Ottawa's
obviously
very
that's
clicky. Very clicky. Born and raised, man. It's a very clicky place.
Yeah. Um, and and then I was from Leaside, which is a small town within Toronto. It's in the East York area.
What
Anybody who's
street do
not
you live
familiar,
on? I know Lee's side. What street do you live
yeah,
on?
that's an inside joke. That's an inside
No,
joke because there's a
Besborough
lot of
Drive.
fixation with keeping up with the Joneses
Uh,
in the village of Leaside, or Leaside Village as they call it
yep,
in Toronto, and that's in that Eglinton Millwood
yep.
area, and um, and so there's a lot of this prejudgment, and I think to keep up with everybody, you have a lot of people that are kind of driving the same car and walking the same looking dog and dressing in the same kind of outfits, and it's very, very cliquey. And within that subculture, there was a lot of private kind of clubs.
I
So
was there with you for
for
5 minutes, and I ended up getting into an argument with some idiot at a Menchie's because her kid didn't know how to
that,
behave. I know. I'm saying like,
yeah, that's what it's turned
yeah,
into. It used to be, if you remember in Frasier when Niles says to Daphne, "Oh, Taylor, Tanner, where are you getting these big book of medieval professions?" It was sort of like
yeah.
that. Everybody's kid had one of these kind of nouveau names like Mackenzie or Portia or Taylor or Tanner or whatnot,
Hey, how were they at
and they were
manual labor? Were they any good at manual labor? So if you took somebody from Lee's side and you gave them like a pick, other than auditioning for the Mervish production of Les Mis, would they actually be able to put their back into it like Jean Valjean or no?
I would say probably no, or those or
Oh
those
man,
were
I'd
the
pay good
those
money
were
to
the
see that.
outcast.
Hmm?
Those were the outcast. Those were the outcast kids. There was, I believe, one ex-Toronto Maple Leaf player that was living off of Randolph Road, that was constantly in a bad mood. I won't mention the name. All I need to say is Toronto Maple Leafs, I think. Um, that might explain the mood. But
Anything
I'm not
post
here to
1967.
they don't need me, but no, there was a lot of sort of private clubs. So, like I was saying about Dragon Boat, they did offer a Dragon Boat team at Leaside High School, but it was, to find out how to get on it or to get on it was like something out of Da Vinci's Inquest. And so a lot of people would just give up. They don't know how these people wound up on this boat and in these yearbook photos. It was
I
just
don't
this
know either.
elusive. Yeah, and there was a lot of things like that. Um, and hockey, that was at the very beginning of women's hockey. I think that there was talk of, and this was between 1995 and 97, that I was in Leaside, and then I moved up to Aurelia and I finished my high school in Aurelia. But in Leaside, when I started hockey, I started on just a house league team, and it was a just for fun. I mean, we kept score because we could handle seeing that we lost a game now and then, but it was still considered a fun learning experience. And then moving to the high school level, I would almost say that they took it a little bit too seriously. I remember we had a coach, and he was paying his own kid to play, paying his kid for wins, and not paying him as much if he lost, or so there was a lot of this really serious stuff going on. And women's hockey was not yet in the Olympics when I started. So, what people were talking about back then was trying to land an NCAA scholarship. And I think that was probably new, um, on the horizon back in the 90s too. I would say it was probably you probably had a much better chance of landing a scholarship for sports in the US if you played basketball in the women's league than hockey, but I was never setting my sights at making a career out of hockey. Um,
You could have. You could have. With the kind of stats that you were
well,
pulling, you certainly could
basically,
have.
well, my father was a very, very good tennis player, and I started playing tennis with my father when I was very young. But he used to joke and he used to say to me, if I had chosen to pursue a career in professional tennis over a career in education, then our family would be living in a cardboard box under the Don Valley Parkway. Now, I think my dad sells himself a little bit short, but I mean, he didn't want to turn a fun hobby into something that was a potentially unsuccessful career choice.
Yep.
And and for me, there was no sorry, try not to sneeze.
Go ahead and
There was
sneeze. We have, how many viewers do we have right now?
there was there
If we
was
ever
no
go viral,
potential.
then let's see how many viewers we have. Keep going. I want to see how many viewers we have.
There
We have
wasn't a
one.
professional women's league paying. There still really isn't. But at the time, I think I had been to a private school, a small private school called Dunblane,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was at that school in my last year, um, sorry, now I'm trying not to cough. I'm talking too much.
Go ahead and cough. We have one viewer.
I
Millions
don't
of
have
viewers
COVID.
on the TV show and one viewer on the podcast. Although, to be fair, I only put one post yesterday. I think no, I did it today. I did one post on Twitter yesterday, and we really should probably spend more time on Twitter. And then I posted some stuff today on the Go Nitro Facebook page and a few other things. So it'll take some time.
All right. Goodness gracious. Let's see if there's any. This is not an ad for Pepsi Cola.
No, I would certainly hope not.
Um,
I'll take their money, though.
but
I'll take their money. If Pepsi wants to give us some money, then I won't complain.
so I'll tell you how the goaltending really started, because I don't think a lot of people know this. But I'd gone to a school, private school, Dunblane, and I was in my last year, and I was the only girl in the class, and I think the class only had about 6 or 7 kids in it, and there was one boy that he was basically like my best friend. We were like Simba and Nala before everything gets complicated. And then I decided that I really wanted to be in an organized sport. And I had no idea which. And I sort of randomly chose hockey. And then I didn't really know what position I wanted to play. And I ended up playing goal in a scrimmage at the school, and then deciding that I was going to start watching the Toronto Maple Leafs. So my judgment was not completely there, but and then of course, being 13, I got a crush on Felix Potvin. So I started watching Felix Potvin.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And I wanted to try out goaltending. I did not want to make my parents, or ask my parents rather, to invest in that kind of thing from the very beginning. So I decided to be creative about it. And
so you're
we had
having
this
Felix
old
Potvin. I'm like, at the same time, hoping Cassandra Peterson's going to call me at 13. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, everybody has their 13 moment, right? So, but it was always a stereotype for me. It was a pro athlete or an actor, or I went through the Keanu Reeves stage. I went through the Brad Pitt stage. I went through the falling in love with my ski instructor. It was like a movie. It had to be every stereotype.
But with Canadian
Anyway.
production values.
Yeah, exactly. So, and so we had this hobby farm, and anybody watching from Saskatchewan is going to laugh now because our hobby farm was 50
Yeah,
acres.
big difference
And we
between
had,
Saskatchewan hobby farms and the ones here. Big difference.
yes,
Here it's like a
and in
7-Eleven, people
Ontario,
laugh at you like, 50 acres, what?
exactly. In Ontario, in the early 90s, um, a decent sized farm was anything over 100 acres.
Yeah, which
And
is
we made a
nothing
mint,
here.
just renting out,
Hmm.
I think, 40 of those 50 acres. And we had this old barn in the back that was it was just falling down. It was not good for much other than a backboard. So I went out into the drive shed and took all of this old, hideous 1970s lawn furniture cushions. These horrible things with all the pastel colored flowers and the brown and the turquoise and the orange, and chopped them up with an X-Acto knife and pulled out a roll of duct tape and in true red green fashion made myself a full set of street hockey goalie equipment using all of this decrepit 1970s lawn furniture, and asked my dad to take this hockey stick and fire tennis balls at me behind the barn and see if I was any good at it. And I liked it, so I went into ball hockey and started out with ball hockey in Toronto, and that was a lot of fun. Um, a wonderful place called Withrow Park, um, and joined a ball hockey league there, and of course that was also like a movie. Our team ended up winning the finals, and then we all went out to Dairy Queen, and Queen played on the radio on the way there. We are the champions. It was really really like something out of the Mighty Ducks. It really felt like that, and so I was kind of in love with it ever since then, and just kind of made a point to try to do it. And then um, the goaltending continued. When I moved to Aurelia, I joined the rep team, the Avalanche, and we got to tour all over Ontario. And it sort of felt like being a pro. And I have to thank my father for that, because we would have this huge map, and you see this, there's a map. I'm just going to turn this. I have a big map in the back here of the United States, and that has um, we're putting little things on there of the networks that are playing Go Nitro. And I had a similar size map of Ontario in the basement in high school, and would map out with highlighters all of the different tournaments that we would be traveling to. And I would call and book all of the hotels. And we didn't have internet at that time, so I had this big travel book, and I would look up which hotels had the best rates and the best rooms and the best reviews and the swimming pool and whatever else for the right price, and then map out all of these locations. And it was sort of like a fantasy, because again there was no real future in hockey for me. I didn't even know if there was any such thing as a scholarship for that in Canada, or whether or not anybody in the United States would want a goaltender for something like that. So it was just really for fun and to stay active. Sorry about my throat. So dry down here. Yeah, so that was basically how it happened, and then I kept playing. I would say that the last time I strapped on my pads was actually for an episode. and running out of tidbits of Pepsi here. I'll see if I can grab this ginger ale. Definitely going to need a glass of water next time.
Yes, come watch the incredibly professional show that we have on network, and on the live stream you can watch Emily cough up a lung.
Well, now I know why the talk show hosts have their cup of coffee there. And this is why lawyers have it. I swear to God, don't call the cops if you see me later at Tim Hortons getting my tea. But,
hello, Tilk.
yeah,
Tilk, come. Here we go. Here's entertainment. No. You're going to knock over the lights. Tilk, sit.
Oh
Sit.
my God.
Sit. Okay, you. No, Tilk, stop it. This is. Okay, go lie down.
I've lost his audio.
Tilk, go lie down. Go lie down. Go lie down. Okay, well,
I've
we
lost
tried.
your audio again, Cory. You're gonna have to just let me interrupt you.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're gonna have to just let me interrupt you and finish the story.
Well, the dog knocked over the light here.
I hope I'm not interrupting him right now.
Well, the
Anyway,
dog out. The light was perfect, and now it's not.
Okay, so back in the 90s, and I just want to explain something because I think a lot of people don't realize with goaltending, because the pads have changed dramatically. Okay, I'm gonna have to get a glass of water. I'm sorry.
Well, the dog knocked over our light here, so. This is apparently what we get. That's apparently what we get. This is so professional. So professional. All right, folks. It is, after all, a dry run. All right, so while Emily is getting water, Pepsi, hacking up a lung, and a bunch of other things. Yeah, you can tell that we're not doing this in the studio right now because I'm at home and we've got the dog here, and Tilk pretty much knocked over my light. And then I have a Siamese here. So, you know, technology is a wonderful thing, but like I said, it's a little bit more humble here. But while I'm waiting for Emily to get ourselves sorted, so I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview, and we will get a little bit more well, I don't think we can get less polished than this. It is, after all, a dry run with one viewer. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the stations that we have that are now running in the United States. So we are actually going to be running, yeah, that is my cat. Zero, come. No, Tilk, stay. Stay, you've done enough. Yeah, the perils of not being in studio. Zero, Tilk, lie down. Tilk, lie down. You've done enough today. Zero. To cover up for all the technical issues we have cats. Hello, Zero. Hello. Where? All right, so here's a major cause of our technical difficulties. Yeah, you're annoying. You're in the way all the time.
Are you keeping this broadcast or not?
Well, yeah, it's official. I can get rid of it if you want. It is an unmitigated disaster, but that's okay. It is a podcast. All right, so forget about everything that's happened, kids, and look at the cats. Hello, Zero. Hello, Zero. Okay. Well,
this did not receive too many subscribers.
No, it really didn't. You
Uh,
coughing up a
well, we
lung,
can.
I mean, that might have attracted some people, but, you know.
Oh, we'll try it again on the weekend.
Pardon? Well, the next one's going to be Thursday next week. So they are going to be...
Okay. Do you want to? My throat's just not participating here. I'm not going to be able to say
No,
anything.
I see we are holding up our usual standard of professionalism. Not. That's okay. It's...
You know what really works on this?
Hmm?
Those little ginger mints that they sell at the Jamaican stores. Those are fantastic. They're little gold ones, and they say "I love you" on
Yeah.
them. They're fantastic.
All right.
Clears this right.
It's all good. Well, Emily's hacking up a lung, and we're getting dead air, and I've got my cat. So, we have a wonderfully polished network television show, and we've had this.
I gotta hand it to the one viewer.
I don't know who the one viewer is. For all I know, it's me. I don't know who it is, but you, mystery one viewer, you are a part of history.
Hopefully it is.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we have more than one viewer?
Because if it was somebody that was alone, stationed in the South Pole on some sort of godforsaken mission to find some extinct form of string of plant bacteria.
Tilk, lie down. Leave the cat alone.
Option for entertainment.
Tilk.
I would just feel
Tilk,
bad.
I'm just taking professionalism and just pitching it out the window right now. Tilk, lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Good boy. Yeah. Welcome to not being in a studio.
Let's talk about the progression in goalie equipment and how that prevents injuries next week.
Let's do that. And by then we'll have all of our technical stuff sorted. See, big difference between live. It's actually all these things with the streamer and the this and the that and the other thing. But on the plus side, we have very nice picture quality. So what I will do is I will end it. So even though this first broadcast was an unmitigated disaster, which is actually kind of funny, it's not going to TV that way, that's for damn sure.
Well, we can diss Lee side. I should probably wait until we have more viewers to diss Lee side.
We can diss Lee side anytime. So I was just going to, for the one viewer that is so resolutely sitting through this train wreck of a first broadcast, whatever you want to call it, which has a noticeable birth of production value difference between the show that we put out every week in syndication and this. I must do the obligatory plug. If you enjoyed a considerable amount of amusement at our expense, technically and everything else, and for my two crazy pets, please click the subscribe button before my cat ends up making a porno.
I can hear it.
Yeah. So Zero says subscribe. Please click the subscribe button. Right now, I realize it's only a pity fuck, but
there's only one person watching. They're probably already a subscriber.
They probably are. So, and we don't worry about language with this either, but that's okay. So, yes, please subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, we'll make it up to you, I promise. And for the show, which is considerably more polished than what we're doing right now, go to gonitro.tv. And I also wanted to just give you some of the dates for the premiere of Go Nitro on the Game Plus network. So that's premieres. My brain's not working. So it's kind of hard. Zero. Yeah, she's not coming over. So the Canadian premiere of Go Nitro National Canadian Premier, will be running every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe it would help if I looked at the camera. Eastern Standard Time, and then 2 hours before that in Saskatchewan. And that will start running on March 29th. So don't miss the first episode of Go Nitro, airing in Canada nationally on the Game Plus network on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, starting March 29th, and it's the same every time. And then we're in the middle of production of Season 2 right now. And I will also, and in terms of our U.S. broadcast, we've been actually pretty much at 1 year now. It's a bit of a, so we have a bunch of new stations that we're really pleased to have. So we are going to be running soon in Nashville, Tennessee, on WMSV TV and BC. We're also running in Portland, Oregon, St. Louis, Missouri, Phoenix, Arizona, on KPHO and CBS. We're also running on Peachtree TV, WPCH Atlanta, and we are running on WGCL in Atlanta. In Las Vegas, you can catch us on KVVU TV, WSIL TV in Carterville, Illinois, ABC, WLUK TV on Green Bay, in Green Bay, Wisconsin, on Fox. And also you can catch us every week, Milwaukee, on WTV, on CW, Milwaukee. And we are also every week on KJZZ TV in Salt Lake City, WPFO in Portland, Maine on Fox, KNSN. Those of you, you know, we're pretty much joined at the hip with Reno, so we're running on KNSN in Reno, on Nevada Sportsnet, KRXI on Fox, WWMT, CW Grand Rapids, Michigan. I apologize to all of my friends in Michigan, including my friend Tanya Sherko, who is not in Grand Rapids, but is in Detroit. We're working on Detroit. And of course, to all of our friends in Syracuse, New York, on WSYT, Fox 68. Of course, I am a huge Syracuse fan, as you can see from my shirt. So that will pretty much do it for today's broadcast, if you want to call it that. And yeah, like I said, subscribe. And we're going to do this every week, so it will suck less. I don't think it would be possible for it to suck any more than this, but we managed to get this one out. All this proves is that doing live to internet is an entirely different bird than television, like pre-taped television. So, anything you wanted to add until next week? I'm thinking no. What I am, however, seeing is a basketball, which is on the desk. So, with Emily missing every single cue in this broadcast, we are seeing a basketball. See, like I said, we've just given up on any form of professionalism in this first podcast. We have just decided to go for broke and just destroy everything. We have a basketball and hands, and my cat and my dog is pouting in the background because he did not succeed entirely in knocking the lights down, and we have the basketball. So if you would like to see some professional programming, watch our TV show each and every week, and watch this each and every week as we get better at it. So I will now switch to the basketball, and once again, for your pity, please subscribe by clicking below, and we will make it up to you. We will provide you with anything we can to encourage you to subscribe that is not illegal. And now I will switch to the basketball and fade out. All right, basketball, here's a giant basketball. All right, so that's it for today's first test broadcast. I know it was a bit of a train wreck, but that's okay. That's part of the fun of live. And we will have some more toys coming from the wonderful world that is Amazon. And like I keep saying, for your pity and consideration, please subscribe by clicking the button below. And of course, anything that you want to know about Go Nitro, we are going to be doing this every single week. And we don't want it to be super formal. As I say, even though we run across the United States in syndication, we don't actually get to hear anything from our viewers unless you email or contact us. And we really do want to hear from you. We're not in, as you can see, I mean, we're not in a high tower. You know, we've been working in television a long time. And I mean, obviously, live broadcasting and everything is we're obviously having some fun with this today. But if you're watching Go Nitro on any of our stations across the United States or Canada, we do want to hear from you. And by having these conversations every Thursday and these kind of fun broadcasts on YouTube, you know, you can chat with us and ask us questions. And as we progress, you'll be able to, you know, we'll be able to show you clips of upcoming episodes that we're working on. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups here. And, you know, and those sorts of things. And as we get more of the flow of it, right, because live is a completely different beast. So anyway, enough of my yammering. So Emily and I had some fun kind of getting this kind of dry run. And as I say, we will be doing this every week. So if you can manage to, get past this first one, we will be every single week at 6:30 Pacific time on Thursdays, and we will be, so Thursdays 6:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. We will be here on YouTube with the Go Nitro Throwback Thursday, where we will be talking about the background of some of the shows that we've done in the past. And even though it's called Throwback, we will also be talking about upcoming things, which just means it's a stupid name. But to be fair, Go Nitro is a stupid name, and it's stuck, and it's airing in syndication all across the place. So the other thing I wanted to add in my endless yammering to fill time, also feel free to contact either of us. I can be reached at Cory@skycron.com, so Cory@skycron.com, and Emily can be reached at Emily@skycron.com, and we really enjoy producing this show for you. So join us next week, 6:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, here on YouTube for the Go Nitro Throwback Thursday. And please continue to watch Go Nitro on your local television station, wherever you are, on ABC, CBS, CW, NBC, and Fox. And we always want to hear from you. And a big shout out to our friends at WBBJ in Jackson, Tennessee. You can watch it weekends at 10:30 p.m. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week. Have a good